Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back to the Black Girl Encourage Her. I am your hostess, Shaniqua Inspires. Did you miss us? Well, you couldn't have missed us because we weren't gone for too far. We were just over at the Black Girl Write Her series. So if you missed any of those amazing episodes for the month of May for Mental Health Awareness Month, you got to run back over there and connect with those power packed, power filled women, write hers, because they were sharing a little bit of encouragement. They were sharing their testimony and they were sharing their books with all of us. So I am delighted to be back here on the main stage, on the main platform, the Black Girl Encourage Her. And guess what? I got another gem for you all today. This is actually my first time connecting with her. So you and I get to meet her together. So I'm not going to delay. I'm going to bring her right on up to the stage and say, hey, girl, hey. Welcome, Miss Olivia. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Black Girl Encourage Her. Please introduce yourself to all of us.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm so excited to be joining. And a little bit about myself. So, my name is Olivia Barr. I am the owner and founder of Caribbean Island Festivals. We are a travel concierge company that specializes in travel experiences to Caribbean events and festivals. So, if there's an art week that you're wanting to take part in, if you want to go do a food and drink festival, a music festival, there's a lot of music festivals, y'all, in the Caribbean.
Wow.
And you get there, I will help to design and customize an itinerary so that you can get plugged in and have a true immersive experience on the island. If you're a group, I know how hard it is for a group to have somebody to say, okay, what we gonna do now that we're here? We have our main event, but what else are we going to do? And so that's where I come in and I step in and I help to assist, and so that you have someone who has that local knowledge to be able to help curate those type of experiences for you. But outside
Ooh.
of that, yeah, so but outside of that, I am also a CPA by trade. I have been a CPA for over a decade. I used to be a public auditor. In addition, I have two kids. I have a daughter and a son. My little one, he's turning 3
Ooh.
shortly, so he's keeping me very, very busy,
I
y'all. If
can
y'all have a
imagine.
boy, oh my gosh, these boys, these
Yes.
pandemic babies.
Yes. Wow. That's awesome.
So yeah, so I wear a lot of different hats. I still have a corporate job. I am a senior product manager in commercial real estate. And I also own a consulting business where I assist startup companies with getting like their LLC formation and their S Corp tax classification. So a woman of multiple hats.
All right, so let me ask you this question that I often tend to ask people who come on here and they sound like me. They're in this, they're in that, they're in this, and they're in that. Let me ask you this question. Why do you need to have all of these entities, all of these business to add to your repertoire? Why do you need all of that?
So purpose and fulfillment. I'm all about living in your gift.
Yes.
And yes, I have my corporate job and that helps. But you know what? I love traveling, right? And I love planning. Like, I actually love doing the research. I know a lot of people are like, research, planning. Ugh. But
That
I
is
actually love that. I love curating experiences. I love, like what's something unique at a destination that you could take part of. And I love hearing the feedback from people. So that brings a smile on my face, actually.
nice. Nice.
So things like that, like even my consulting business, I'm helping startup companies. I think about, even as myself, as an entrepreneur, you get caught up in like just the operations. Like I just got to know exactly what to do from that perspective. And you don't even think about like the legal part that
Yeah.
goes back. That goes with it, and the formations and the structures, the succession planning. You know how many entrepreneurs are not even thinking about that? So
Mhm.
I like to come in and say, hey, let's take a step back and let's think about those things. And I know that it's only fueling their success and growth. So those
Yes.
type of things really put a smile on my face. It goes beyond just, hey, I'm doing it, maybe for the financial reason, there's an internal purpose that I find in it.
I love that. I love so everything about what you just said. I love it. It is about the purpose and the putting a smile on your face to know that you're actually helping other people. So we thank God for people like yourself who take joy in certain tasks that most don't like to do. So it's like you're literally helping us get to the place where we all want to grow to be, but you're taking care of some of that not so nice. Because truth be told, when I started my business in 2013, and it's called A Better You. And all I knew, and it's a wellness consultant business, and all I knew is I wanted to help people to be well, mentally, physically, spiritually. That was the passion. So I did the things that felt good to me about starting a business. So I did the website, I picked my color schemes, right? Right. So it's like when you're getting married, you're out looking for the dress, checking
Mhm,
out the venue. That's all of the
mhm.
cutesy stuff. But nobody told me about the incorporation status and filing taxes and payroll and this, that, and the other. So it is good to have individuals in business like yourself who are making certain that you are supporting entrepreneurs in that. I'm not going to say it's not glamorous, but it is the structure of being in business, being an entrepreneur that doesn't get the highlights and the glamour,
I
right? We can
agree.
all pick a website, color schemes, and all of that, but getting the structure for longevity. So I love what it is that you do and that it's a purpose in your heart that's driving you. Let's go back and we understand the purpose.
Mhm.
But I want to ask deeper, what's your why? Why does that put a smile on your face to help people, travel and have a good time and help businesses to grow and have longevity in their span? What's behind that? What's the why? Why does Olivia get joy from that?
You know, as I sit here and I think about my own life, I think about there's been a lot of circumstances that I've been in where I shouldn't even be having this conversation with you. And I think a
Mhm,
lot of us, we all have those type of stories where we're like, we've gone through something very traumatic. I
mhm,
myself have. I am a survivor of domestic violence.
mm,
And I'm a person who, I've always been like a very structured person, very conservative. Like, you know what? I live by the book and everything. And I think when you come out of something so traumatic, it gives you a different viewpoint on life. And
yes.
you start saying, hey, wait a minute. I don't want to take these moments for granted. I don't want to take my life for granted because I will not be here today, tomorrow. And what does that mean for myself? What
Mhm,
does that mean for my legacy? What does that
yes.
mean for my kids? And so taking that introspective look and saying, wait, God put me on here for a reason.
Mhm,
And we are all connected in some way, shape, or form. We're not doing anything alone. We are
mm,
all doing this together. And
yes.
so realizing that we all need each other to be able to grow, to be able to be successful, to nourish each other,
Mhm,
that's part of that deepness that I feel like, hey, I really want to see people and genuinely see people be successful.
yeah.
I genuinely want to see them be happy. I want them to have that joy. And I want them to I want to help in any way that I can to set them up for that because there's too much negativity in this world. There's too
Mhm,
many people pulling you down.
yes.
Why not be that light in this world of darkness?
Yes, I love it. And unfortunately, I say unfortunately, but fortunately, right? Sorry for you that you had to go through that experience. But we, the people who are now connecting with this new woman that rose from the ashes, we actually now get to benefit from that. And it's kind of harsh to say, but this is where the purpose comes from. It's often birthed through some type of pain, some type of tragedy, some type of setback. So,
Mhm.
although nobody wants to sign up for it, like, hey, choose me, no, nobody wants to sign up for it, but it does birth a purpose. So, you literally were able to take back your power from a domestic violence situation. And now you're standing here in your authority and you're helping others reach their purposes as well. I hate that you went through it, but I love that. I love it.
Thank you so much. I really try to. I like sharing that because some people we don't like to be vulnerable. We don't,
Mhm.
you see people, and you're like, they're so strong, they're so this, they're so that.
Yeah.
But you know what? You don't know their backstory. You
Yeah.
don't know what adversity they had to overcome to be the
Mhm.
person that they're sitting in
Come
front
on.
of you. And
Yeah.
so to be able to sit here today and talk to you, I mean, it's such a blessing. I thank God that He is, leading and guiding my life. And that I was able to say, take that situation and say, you know what, I am more than a survivor, right? Let me
Come
just be
on.
very clear. I am more than
Yes.
a survivor, right? I am thriving. I am doing great
Mm.
things. And God was able to take that situation to your point and birth something even better that I wouldn't have been able to do and be able to testify about it, right? And be a living testimony for others to say, if you're in those type of circumstances, you don't have to you don't have to necessarily dwell. Like, don't dwell, right? Use that to say, I'm going to take back that power and control in my life to be able to say, okay, that yes, that happened, but now what? How do I
Mhm.
get healing from that? Because I think part of that we get caught up on that, right? We get
Mhm.
caught up on those dark times and we don't heal. So getting the healing that's needed to move forward in life so that you don't waste this life that God has given us.
Yes. I love that. And that is about the resiliency. I know that's one of the platforms that you stand on and you speak from. It's about that resiliency. And now we can get a glimpse as to why. We see why you are such an advocate for resiliency, why you're such an advocate for mental health and the entrepreneur. So I love what it is that you're standing on. So let's talk a little bit more about resiliency. So just imagine there's somebody who's watching and you've got their attention. They've had a busy day, life has been lifing, but you finally have their attention. And we need them to not give up. We just came out of Mental Health Awareness Month, but as I told you earlier, we're going to keep that momentum going. So if someone is damaged, if they are broken in their spirit, what would you tell them about the power of resiliency?
I'm gonna answer that by my routine. Because I
Come
am
on.
since I have been a broken person, I had to step back and say, okay, I need to reprioritize my life.
Hmm.
So to this day, I am up at 4 a.m. in the morning
Wow.
and I am at the gym at 5. And I use that and I go work out. I feel like working out is the best type. I know everybody has different stress relievers, but I like to start my day with working out. I
Hmm.
work out for a good hour and 15 minutes. But then what I do is I part of my cool down, I actually meditate and I pray.
Yes.
And because I like to start my day like and I try to not get caught up on, okay, this made me upset yesterday, or this happened to me, or what about this, or life's not fair. You know what? I do it with prayer. So this is something I actually learned in my church, and I love it because sometimes I feel like we get nervous about praying and meditating, and like I
Mhm.
don't know the right way to do it. Some people are so good at it, but I think this has actually helped my mindset to just make sure that I'm setting the tone for the day
Yes.
and for the week. So I do this with prayer. It starts, and it's an acronym. So with is wonderful. I say, God, you are wonderful. You
Mm.
are almighty. And I give him praise and I give him worship because
Yes.
he deserves it. And then I go into I'm sorry, right? I am sorry if I have been distracted. I'm sorry if I have not prioritized you. I'm sorry if I am dwelling on the negative because God, that's not who you lead me to be.
Yes.
And then I come with thankfulness. I think we
Mm,
sometimes take that part for granted, but
yeah.
I thank him. God, thank you. Thank you for being my guiding light. God,
Yes.
thank you for going above me and going before me to lay out the path for me. And
Hmm.
God, thank you for creating those opportunities. Like it could just be, it doesn't have to be even those big of things. It could be the smallest things. But
Yes.
having a heart of gratitude, that pours out of me. And
Yes.
then help. God, I'm struggling in these areas.
Mm,
God, I really need your help. God, can you help me with this? Can you do this for me? And that's kind of like an all-encompassing way of how I'm like wanting to have that connectivity
yeah.
and saying, hey, let me stop. Let me take some time to really sit down and meditate and think about how I want my thoughts to go for the rest of the day because
Yes.
it's so easy. And I do it in the morning. I'm very diligent about doing it in the morning because life starts to happen, right? You get these
Hmm.
phone calls, you got meetings, you got this, you got kids, and you start getting caught up on things. But if you have that in the morning, and
Mm,
then you say, okay, you know what? I feel like there's some craziness. Let me take a step back and be
yeah.
like, okay, maybe I need to do another with prayer. God,
Mm,
thank you. You know what? You're great.
yes.
You're wonderful. God, I thank you that, you are part of my life. And that's been very helpful and encouraging to me. I know I've shared it with others and they've told me how they've used it.
That's good.
And so sometimes when you are just feeling like you want to give up, you feel broken, you feel like I'm down and out, coming back to something like that, something as simple as a with prayer just really helps to reassess and realign myself.
Oh, I love it. All right, let's give it to the people again. This is the with prayer, your WITH. So y'all get your notepad. I'm sorry I didn't forewarn you. Get your notepad. Take notes on your phone because you need this. So the W is the worship, correct? That's where you're
Yes.
worshiping God. Just communing to who He is. And the I is the I'm sorry. That's the repentance. Y'all know that repentance is everything right there. God will hear your heart, but you better repent for all the things that you've been out here in these streets doing. So I'm sorry. I love that. The T is the thankful. And truth be told, I think that's probably an easier realm for people to sit in, to thank God as opposed to worshiping, right? There is a unique difference. You don't have to get all, poli sci with it, but I think a lot of people hope, let me say that, I hope a lot of people that the T is going to be the easier portion, and then the H, help, help. That's where now you've got his attention, because once the worship starts, now you got his attention.
Mhm.
Once the repentance goes forward, he's like, oh yeah, I'm ready, I'm revved up. Now you've got a thankful heart, and oh baby, you might as well, the help is going to be easy now, because now he's listening. Now he's going to be able to respond. And as Olivia was sharing with us, not only is she intentional about doing it first thing in the morning, but if she feels like she needs to interject this throughout the day, she does that. I thought that that was wonderful advice to help someone to start building their resiliency muscle, because it does come from submitting to something higher than yourself, and not the job, not the to-do list, not, the mate, but submitting to God, who has the power to rescue you from it all. I love that. That was really good. What would you say to entrepreneurs? Because I don't know how many entrepreneurs are watching, but don't let social media fool you. Social media will make you think that being an entrepreneur, being in a small business is the jam. It's where everything is glittering and everything is made of gold and everything is fabulous.
Mhm.
But for those of us who are really in the trenches, we know that there are some ebbs and flows. And I had someone ask me one time, I was in this group session, and they said, "Have you ever felt like you wanted to quit?" And my response was, what time is it? Because at several times during the day, you're like, why am I doing this
Mhm.
again? So, what would you say to someone? Again, they're trying to find their purpose in life. They may even be struggling with mental health because just because you want to be an entrepreneur doesn't mean mental health fades away. So, you could be struggling with some type of mental health issue, but you're also in the ebbs of flow of business.
Mhm.
What kind of encouragement would you give?
Okay, so I'll start with the mental health. I see a therapist. Listen,
Yes.
one of the things that we sometimes do is we lean so much on our friends to help us with some of the crisis that we're doing. They're not skilled or experienced in that.
Mhm.
And then we sometimes get frustrated.
Mm.
You're not being a good friend. You're not listening. You're not this. But that's not necessarily
Yeah.
their job. They're not
Yeah.
necessarily trained for that. So that would be the first thing I would say. Make sure that you're aligning yourself with the right mental support help, right? If it's a therapist, if it's maybe having, if you maybe you're like, okay, maybe I don't want to do one-on-one, maybe group sessions, something where you're able to share that with someone and that take that burden off your friends and your
Mhm.
loved ones. I say that that is very key. I just saw my therapist yesterday and we talked. I mean, I'm happy that I can have someone to mentally guide me through some of life's struggles and
Yes.
help me to give a different perspective.
I love it.
So that's one thing I would say. As far as from being an entrepreneur, I would say just because you like something doesn't mean you should go into business for it.
Ooh, no, she
Um,
didn't tell you that. Oh, that she told y'all something right there. Speak the truth, miss. Speak the truth.
I think a lot of people go into like, oh, I'm so good at this. I like this. I should just go ahead and I could be my own business owner. And I'm like,
Mhm.
no, let
Yeah.
me tell you, because there's so much more to it.
Yes.
So I'll even take myself. Because I fell into the same category to a certain extent. I was like, I love to travel. I was born abroad. I lived abroad. You know what? I think I could do this.
Yeah.
But one of the things I did before I actually formed my business is I said, you know what? I need to educate myself. And I
Mhm.
actually went and did travel agent schooling so I
Okay.
could have my certification. Because what I won't be is an uneducated business owner either. And
Come with
so
it.
just because I like something, I need to make sure I'm knowledgeable and educated
Yes.
in that and in various realms about that.
I love
I
it.
went and looked into a business coach, right?
Mhm.
So, I mean, yes, I'm in business. I work in corporate America, but it doesn't necessarily mean I understand a lot of the other aspects that comes with being a business owner.
Mhm.
Writing up a business plan. Let me tell you, when you sit down and write down a business plan, it really has you thinking about what is your unique value proposition? What
Yes.
are going to be the challenges? Who are your competitors? Do you realize like how do you differ from your competitors?
Mhm.
What I always say whenever I'm thinking about well, what am I bringing to the market? What solution am I bringing to solve for a problem?
Yeah.
You can't answer that,
Mhm.
then why are you in business?
Yeah.
So those are just some things that when you're thinking about being an entrepreneur, it may start off as something that I really feel like I'm good at this, but it goes a lot deeper than that. You really need to make sure you have the right resources and the support to be able to have your business thrive and be successful for the long run because we all know that small business owners they fail. And a
They
lot
do.
and but part of that is because they're not structured right.
Yeah.
They don't have the education or the experience that they need. Or they just get caught up on just one aspect, not realizing, okay, credit scores, that's important. What
Mhm.
is your marketing plan? And not just thinking of digital marketing strategies. I think social media is great, but
Yes.
there's all kinds of other marketing strategies. Are you connected with your local chamber of commerce?
Come
What
on.
about trade shows? Like there's so many other ways that you can stay connected even locally. And I
Yes.
think people take that for granted.
Yeah.
So looking into all these different avenues before you're like, okay, and realizing it's gonna cost some money. I know you see these things that be like, oh, it's only $100 to start it here or $50 to do this. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
If you really want to structure it right,
Yeah.
you can do it the quick way, but not necessarily the right way. And
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to be thinking about longevity, which is what I'm always thinking about,
Yes.
then I'm going to make sure that I'm making informed business decisions.
Love it. Love it. That's good. That's good. That's good advice right there. Look, she's setting the captives free right there. And we have to take heed. We have to take heed because again, the bottom line is the longevity. The bottom line is the legacy. How do you get to leave a lasting legacy, but not only leave a lasting legacy, but how do you get to live? So let me ask you that question. I want to ask you that question because a lot of people talk about leaving a legacy, that it, like when you die, and nobody wants to talk about death, right?
Mhm.
It's something that's going to happen. And I think, it's best to be well prepared and well supported throughout the process, just like with any other process in life. But we often think about legacy as when we are no longer here.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts about living your legacy?
That's a really good question.
Mhm,
And I agree. I think a lot of people do get caught up on legacy as an afterthought, right? Like as
mhm,
when I'm long gone and not in the present. But part of your legacy is how do you build relation with people? How are you connecting with people? Because that's
mhm,
part of your legacy.
mhm.
And when you're connecting with people, are you connecting from a selfish place
Yeah.
or are you very genuine about it? Like, do you
Yes.
genuinely want to help somebody? Do you, because that's going to leave a longer impact, a lasting impact, right?
Mhm.
On how you interact with people.
Yeah.
So when I think of being a living legacy, I think about how can I support people? How can
Mhm.
I help you? Okay,
Yeah.
because it's not always about me. And so that's one of the things if you're in my network, you know that I'm posting about you. Hey, this person graduated, or this person's open to networking, or this person needs this. That's leaving a legacy, and it's showing that it's not about me.
Yeah.
It's about helping others and being there for other people. And I think sometimes we don't even see that and understand how that, as far as being a part of someone's life and connecting with them and supporting them, that's a legacy that you're leaving on them. That's a mark that you're leaving on them.
Yeah. Yes. And you get to reap the benefits of it. Because ain't nothing like having good people next to you, like having a support system. So when you are hosting an event or planning a gathering, you already know who's going to be in the room.
Mhm.
So when I'm going someplace and it requires me to drive my car, I already know how many seats is taken, because I know who's always going to roll with me. So I love your take on it and making certain that we do get a chance to be beneficiaries of this legacy that we're so driven on, but we actually can reap the benefits from it as we're preparing to leave something for our children and our children's children's and thereafter. So I
Mhm.
love that. Before I let you go, because you really let us have some good words of advice, if you had to leave us some lasting words of encouragement, what would you say?
I would say don't always get caught up on what other people are doing, whether it's your competitors, whether it's your coworkers, don't get caught up on that.
Mhm.
Think it's always you versus you. I listen to a lot of motivational
Yeah,
messages. It's you versus you, not you versus them. And are you being the best person that you can be? Like, have I improved? If I look back, and I look at, okay, how was I a year ago? What has been my progress in that year?
hmm
That's where the growth comes from.
hmm
Not looking at, oh, well, she got the promotion or she's doing this. No, what have I done?
yeah,
Well, because that's the I can control.
hmm
I can't control the outside factors. I'm in charge of me.
hmm
So I always say, don't get caught up on that. It's real easy, especially with social media, to see what other people are doing and thinking that they got it really great.
yeah,
But what about where have you come from?
yeah.
So that's what I would
I love it. See, that's the words from an overcomer. That's the words of a thriver. Now, if you were stuck in the situation, you wouldn't have those power-filled words to pour into us. Now you know. I cannot let you go without us talking about this business, this Caribbean island festivals. We gotta talk a little something about that. So you have this travel company. Tell us again what it is that you're doing. And I hear you got an opportunity for
Yes.
us as
So,
well.
I am a traveling person. Matter of fact, I'm going to be in Jamaica. So this year alone, I've already been to Barbados.
Hmm.
I did a trip on there, so you can see if you've never been to Barbados and you're like, what is it like? I have all of that posted on
Nice.
my social media. I'm actually going to Jamaica in May, or yeah, I'm in Jamaica in May, and then in June, because it's all look, y'all see this logo. I'm all about having fun and festive. I am going to the Caymans, y'all, for K Moss. So I'm so very excited. It is a boutique festival. If you've never been, oh my goodness. I'm about to give you a sneak peek firsthand experience of what it's like. And then later on in the summer, group travel to Barbados crop over. Yes, it is its 50th year since its revival. A lot of people are flocking down, but if you're like, wait, I don't know where to stay. Where are the events? I need access. I got you.
Hey, we
I
got connection. I love it.
So I am always looking and exploring like different offerings on the islands because you know what? There's so much to explore. And I really want people to immerse and see what it is that these islands have to offer. And so something like the Caymans or something, I think we hear about Jamaica, that's fine. We have Bahamas, but there are so many islands
Hmm.
in the Caribbean. Did y'all know, for instance, that there are 700 islands in the Bahamas? 700.
I did not know
Yes.
that.
And so, but we always hear about like Nassau, Freeport, Bimini.
Yeah.
Yes, 700 islands. So again,
Wow.
a lot to explore in the Caribbean, y'all. Don't be sleeping on it.
Wow, wow, that's good information. Listen, you guys, I've got her social media handles going up, her Facebook, her Instagram. You right here on YouTube. Y'all might as well just go on over. You might as well go right on over to her YouTube channel, Caribbean Island Festivals. Hit the subscribe button and check out some of those island vacations, all of that good stuff that she's got going on over there. And do not forget to get on her website. For those of you who are on my mailing list, you already know who Olivia was. You knew her before she stepped foot out here. You already knew her story because you got her bio, you got all of these social media links, and I hope that you've already gone ahead and made the connection because that's part of what it is that we are doing, leaving this legacy, right? It is about the connection. So we want to make certain that we're supporting, even if you can't or you're not into traveling, it doesn't hurt to subscribe to a YouTube channel. It doesn't hurt to hit follow on Facebook or Instagram. It does not hurt because you never know when the wind might blow you around and you're like, oh, you wake up with the Cayman Islands on your mind and who you gonna think of? I hope you would think of this episode with Miss Olivia and you make certain that you reach out to her. So you might as well get her on your social media pages, check out her website, save it so that you know when you're ready to travel, and especially if the Caribbean is where you want to go, this is where you want to stop. Now, I hear you have a trip coming up this summer and you're going to be closing down your registration. So I want to make certain that we have that information. I'm going to put it in the description box as well as all of this, your social medias and everything. We're going to put it in the description box. So if anybody wants to take a trip this summer, and I know my mom is watching like I do. My mom always wants to travel to somewhere. So look, now she's got a connection to Olivia. She does not need me to try to plan this trip out for her. She's got a connection. So tell us a little bit more about what we can expect, what you got going on. So this way we are making certain that we're connected with you.
Okay, so again, I'm going to be traveling throughout the summer to a variety of different islands because I feel like if I'm going to be promoting something or telling
Yeah.
y'all something, it needs to be a first-hand experience, right?
Yeah.
I want to tell y'all, okay, this is what y'all need to do when you get to the airport. This is, do
Mm,
you need a taxi? What's like, is there an Uber equivalent? So those are like a
I
lot of like
love
the
it.
insider travel tips I like to provide. So if you go on my Instagram, there's a place where you can be an email subscriber. I'm always giving travel tips. Yeah. Okay.
Mm,
What about global entry? Do I need global entry? What
yeah.
about currency? I think so. All those type of things that you may not even be thinking of, I'm providing those type of informations. But for
Yes.
trips coming up, I think my Barbados crop over is my biggest one coming up. If, but maybe you're like, you know what? I don't want to do a costume event. Guess what? In July, Christina Aguilera is performing live at the Atlantis in Bahamas. And guess what? I'm putting together packages for that. So
Wow.
if you want to go experience that, that's you can please feel free to reach out to me directly. And I'll be having other events that come along. There's Dye Fest that's coming up in a lot of the Caribbean islands. If you want to do a regatta, you want to go and see and experience that. You want to do the Cayman Cookout. That's in January, y'all,
Mhm.
mid-January. Y'all want to go and be with international renowned chefs and mixologists.
Oh,
Y'all,
yeah.
that is
Yeah.
the event to be in. That's a very exclusive event.
Wow.
Um, that is definitely not something to miss out. So definitely make sure you stay connected because I'm always giving you different information. And as I'm working a lot with the different tourism boards, I'm hearing about new things. Hey, Olivia, did you know that this is coming up? This is going to be here this year? Yes, let's get
Yes.
plugged in and let's talk about it.
I love it. I love it. Listen, I don't want to hear that excuse, oh, I don't know where to go. Well, now you know. There's 700 islands in the Bahamas alone. Look, now you are in the know. That is great information. I am so excited about it. And I am so grateful that this is one of your passions. Like you're literally making it easier for people to start their business and to travel to see the world. We thank you. We thank you, Olivia, for the work that you are doing and continue to do. And we hope and we pray that you will definitely be the beneficiary of all of this good stuff that you're giving out to everyone else. So, if you will hang out for just a second, let me give the people their marching orders. All right, everyone. That was super good. I hope that you have enjoyed this week's segment of the Black Girl Encourage Her. Child, I keep thinking about the Cayman Islands. So, y'all know I enjoyed myself. Make certain that you are subscribing and you are sharing this message, this word of encouragement with everyone you know. People that you know who are starting their businesses, those who are struggling with mental health issues and need some power in their resiliency, because that with prayer was something else, right? I hope you got those nuggets. And maybe someone who just loves to travel and wants to take some of the guesswork out of it. So, this is the episode for them. Make certain you share it out and make certain that you meet me back here next week for the next segment of the Black Girl Encourage Her. Take care.